I finish my watercolors, I'm going to allow that to dry. Then I'm going to take my eraser and I'm going to erase all of my lines, even my swirls here a little bit, in a circular motion, and get rid of that. Now I've mixed my background color already, and I've mixed water on my plate, color in my water, and I've got kind of a really yummy red-violet color. And you do want to make certain everything's dry. If it starts to go on too dark, pick up a tiny bit more water. You don't want it too bright nor too dark, because we want to keep this quite pastel. So I'm going to get this on my background, and then I'm going to show you the stripes for the front. Turn that around to make it easy for you to move, and work quickly so it stays wet, kind of a crisscross stroke, so you don't see every brush stroke. If I don't have enough color and water in my brush, it starts to dry, and then I have, you can see every stroke that I've made, and it gives my background too much texture. Now, it started to dry right there, so if I just wet my brush and go back over that and kind of crisscross or X strokes. Yum, I like that color. Get that on my background. Now I'm going to set this aside and let it dry and do the stripes. One thing I want to show you also, I did the checks on my glasses so that my glasses are checkered, and if you'll notice, they're not super neat and tidy, which is okay, that I used my black watercolor from my plate, and what I did for my checks is I just laid down a couple strokes, 2 or 3 little strokes, left a space the same size. If I had a flat square brush, I could use that, but that's all I did to get my checks on my glasses and on my side pieces for my glasses. So I did do my glasses, see how cute they are? And we'll put those together to go in Mom's purse. So the next thing I'm going to do, I decided my stripes, I wanted to have them black and white. So water on my plate, color in my water. Ooh, that's kind of dark. I'm just going to put that on, touch in a little more water. So what I want white, I'm just going to leave. So every other stripe, and if it looks too dark to you, add a little bit more water. This is going to be the front part of my purse. I'm going to turn that around so it's easy for me to pull towards me. And since these are stripes, I just pull in one long line. Now the other thing that I have ready is I showed you some inspiration that was leopard, and I sketched on a circle that I thought could be our button, and I've mixed some brown shades with my brown and some black and some brown and a little bit of yellow in it. So I can do the entire button. You can see the jagged little organic shapes, and I'm not going to worry if I get a little bit outside of my lines because I can totally cut that off. But I am going to go back in once I have that background color on while it's wet and pick up some of my dark and go back. And if you'll notice with my brush, I'm doing little strokes that are jagged and on the side so that it does look furry. You don't want it super wet so they run completely off, but you do want it moist enough that it's going to soften. So if you would like a little bit of leopard, how fun is that, and how simple is that to use? And as it dries, if it looks like it's not dark enough, I can go back in and add a couple more strokes with darker color. And then I'll let that dry as well. That color is my brown plus just a touch of black if you want to make it a little bit deeper value. And then I'll let that dry. It's dried, so we're going to embellish just a little bit, and then I'll show you how to put it together. On my flowers, I don't want to outline, but I like to do some dots and dashes, maybe a few little lines in the center that give our petal some depth. I'm using a hot pink color if you would like to try something else. On these, I think I'll use a little bit of a red color and dots and dashes for around my flowers. For my swirls, which you can see it's larger on here, that could be green. And if you wanted to embellish that just a tiny bit, on my leaves as well, where my vein would be, a couple little jaggy lines on the outside edge. Don't need a whole lot of embellishment to make it look awesome. Same with these, tiny bit, then our swirls. And I'm using a darker green if you don't like that color. Find one that you do. It could be more of a blue-green if you choose. The elements in your design, if you felt like you wanted, I've got my glasses right here, and I did my lens part. If you wanted to go around that a tiny bit with a blue pencil, that would be awesome. If you wanted to take some black and clean up some of your stripes, and again, don't outline, do dots and dashes, and don't do them completely even, which is what we have a tendency to do. Now, to put this together, you've got your pieces. I cut, this is the size, exact same size as my pieces that I painted on. I cut them again. This time, I left these two pieces connected. I fold that over, and this is my scrubber. It takes baked on stuff off of my pans, and I folded that. I did use a paper punch to punch the paper in the back. This is going to be the back of my design. So I'm going to use my double stick tape. This is my flap right here. This is my front of my purse. Then of course here's my awesome leopard, which I would take that and just a tiny bit of either black or a dark brown if you feel like you need to make that even more fuzzy looking. If I get a little bit too much, I'm not going to worry because I can actually take a brush, wet it, and blend some of those just a little bit if I feel like I need to soften those at all. But you don't want it to be too defined. Maybe the dark could be not quite so bold. Maybe you want a dark brown pencil to use. So I'm going to, once I have these glued on here, and if you've not used the double stick tape, it comes in a little roll, and you're going to run it on to your surface, and then you'll stick your designs on there flat. Once you have all of those designs glued on, you're going to glue them onto your bag. So here is my bag, and I'm gluing those pieces, you can see, front and back, onto my bag. I am, before I glue it onto my bag, going to run my ribbon through my holes, and then just glue those inside. So here is my back. You would push your ribbon through, and you don't need to tie a knot, it just needs to be through because we're going to take this on, and then put that on your bag, glue that on your bag, and then your handle is intact as well. It does need to go on here before it goes on there. Look how cute that is. Looks awesome. And this will go on the front, and this on the front of that. Again, on their paper backings, and then you'll glue that onto your paper bag. So to finish, I want you to see, so here's my glasses. I did go around those just a tiny bit with some colored pencil, and I do like that. And I bent those back, and I have a little paper punch, and I found some gold brads. Of course, I found some little gold brads in my stash, and I'm going to bend that over, and look how fun Mom's glasses are. So, oops, and I think I got that guy. Oh, no, I didn't. Okay, I thought I had him upside down. Now, my snail, I'm way excited about my snail. So here's my snail. I took grosgrain ribbon. Now, when I did my snail, when I put my watercolors on, I actually put my color on, some yellow, some orange, made it quite heavy And look at how awesome my blossoms, I have awesome blossoms on my snail. So I also took the paper punch on the back end. Remember my little steel measuring tape that had those? So if you happen to have one of those, you could put that in. But also, grosgrain ribbon, I marked just with my regular number 2 pencil, and I can glue that on the back, and look at his super cute head on the front. And you have got a snail measuring tape too. I found this darling pencil that a friend had given me. Super cute if you wanted to paint your pencil for your mom's purse, just like that. A couple more things as we finished our project. Make certain that I've added my button to my leopard. It's a little bit big, but again, everything I put together, I used my double stick tape. My glasses, you probably would want to also color and carry your design onto the back side. And then the other thing, we're going to put just your Velcro dots, one on the top, one on the bottom, and they are self-adhesive. That should finish it up, and you're ready to share. Pretty darn awesome. I love it. Thank you for your time. Bye.